All rise for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, students, faculty, and staff. Welcome to the WDCS announcements for Monday, April 3rd, 2023. Today is an odd day. It is also National Find a Rainbow Day. The word of the day is recuse. It means to remove yourself to avoid bias. Because the person charged with a crime was her brother, the judge recused herself from the case and gave it to a new judge.
The 8th grade masquerade dance is Friday, May 5th from 7 to 10 p.m. at Meyer Shores Country Club. The cost is $50 and you must pay to Ms. Matos in the Student Service Office. The payment is due by April 17th. The Green Club will be meeting after school today. The Student Government Club will be meeting after school today. The Gay Straight Alliance Club will be meeting after school tomorrow in room 1221.
The month of April is both Autism Awareness Month and Earth Month, so we'll be splitting our awareness facts between the two. Today we start with autism. If you're wondering why we used a rainbow infinity symbol and not the traditional puzzle piece for our intro, it's because many autistic people now find the puzzle piece offensive. And now for today's feel-good news story.
They don't see themselves as a puzzle to be solved, so they use the rainbow infinity symbol to represent the autism spectrum. Ms. Santiago asks us to show you this short video explaining autism.
The human brain is an amazing thing. It processes an incredible 400 billion bits of information a second, interpreting the world around us so we can see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. Most of us have what's called a neurotypical brain. This means we process information the same way most people do. But a small percentage of the world's population processes information in a different way. They have an autistic brain, which affects how they perceive the world and communicate with others. Maybe you know somebody with autism. That doesn't mean you know everything about autism. Autism isn't an illness or disease. It's a collection of related neurological conditions which manifest differently for each person. This is why it's called a spectrum. Every person with autism has their own unique characteristics and behaviors, which means they may react to their environment in a totally different way to someone else with autism. One autistic person might not be able to speak, but can solve complex maths equations. Another might paint beautiful pictures, but struggle to cope with bright lights and loud noises. The autism spectrum affects people across 7 different areas, including social skills, which affects their ability to interact with people in the world around them, language skills, which impacts on their ability to understand what others say to them, read body language and facial expressions, or make eye contact, information processing, which makes adapting to new environments or routines a challenge, sensory processing, which makes them over or undersensitive to their surroundings, behavioral and emotional skills, making emotional regulation difficult. Sometimes people say we're all a little autistic, but this isn't true. Autism affects people their whole lives and can make it hard to deal with the world. An autistic person has to come up with coping mechanisms a neurotypical person doesn't have to worry about. Autistic people who can talk and have reasonable physical coordination are often described as high-functioning, Yet they often have problems with getting jobs, making friends, having romantic relationships, or organizing their lives. If you meet someone with autism, instead of trying to change them, try asking about their lives and what autism has meant to them. You never know. You might learn something really cool.
Later this week, we have an interview with a DCS teacher that she probably didn't even know was autistic.
And now for our Nerdalicious Fact of the Day. Donnie Dunnigan spent 25 years in the Marines. He was a decorated Vietnam War veteran who received several promotions. He became the youngest ever drill instructor and received several awards for his service. After he retired in 1977, the many soldiers he'd served with learned his secret. Many years earlier, the scary drill sergeant, Major Dunnigan, had acted as the voice of a famous Disney character, Bambi the deer.
Jason Arde, who lives in London, was born with autism and developmental delays. He could not speak until he was 11 years old and didn't learn to read or write until he was 18. He earned his college degree, then added 2 master's degrees and a PhD. He was recently named as a professor at the prestigious Cambridge University and at 38 years old is the youngest Black professor in the university's 814-year existence.
Today to Ryan Salamander. Thank you for tuning in. Have an epic day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye!
And that's a wrap!